Good afternoon, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency Guruji, a very warm welcome to you to the UN Climate Change Pavilion. And it's a very timely moment where finally the UN is getting it right and bringing faith into the discussions. So we're thrilled that you're doing this, and I'm also honored to have esteemed guests who will participate with you, sir. And I want to start by saying that the work you've been doing at the Art of Living Foundation is really changing the way people think of their lives. Guruji, you've always reminded us the need to take care of ourselves, our mind and souls and bodies, and how important it is that we care for others. And if I may, sir, I'd like to propose that we invite you to give some opening remarks, and then we'll hear from our panel of experts, and then have a conversation. We hope to have a conversation with people in the room, because I know they're excited about hearing from you and maybe ask you some questions. This COP is about success. We are counting on concrete actions and results, and we're focusing on sustainability. And today's discussion is about how the art of living can help towards the sustainability agenda and how we can address some of the biodiversity lacunas that exist. And on that note, the Honorable Sir, we invite you to.
Yes, I appreciate this initiative we have all taken, and it's very timely now, and we can't wait anymore to care for our environment. I just want to remind you, 42 years back, when I used to talk about preserving the nature, preserving the seeds, the plants which are getting endangered, or caring more for water resources, people would raise their eyebrows and say, what is he talking about? Because that was not the mainstream topic at all, narrative at all. I'm glad today, in these 42 years, countries around the world have acknowledged the urgency for climate change, the urgency to preserve nature, and they have introduced a Ministry of Environment almost in all the countries of the world. And I'm so glad that United Nations has taken this seriously. We have been part of United Nations Millennium Goals as well as Mission Green Earth, for which we contributed about 31% of the work in whatever year, 2012 or
2015 when we...
2015 or a little earlier. Mission Green Earth, we have been part of it. And, but we have, having said all that, we need to do much more. It's not enough what we are doing. And today when I see 1 in every 3 people are getting depressed and suicidal, it is posing a bigger challenge to the world scenario. A person who is depressed doesn't even get out of their own bed, doesn't take care of themselves, doesn't take care of their room and their surroundings. Forget about them caring for the earth. Someone has to care for the earth. They have to be sensible, they have to be sensitive. For this, mental health is absolutely essential. A robust mental health will make people more caring, sharing, and conscious about the degradation that is happening in the nature day by day. So creating an awareness is one thing. Second is establishing models which can be emulated. And in this regard, we have been quite successful in Art of Living Foundation with all the volunteers. We could rejuvenate 75 rivers and 1,000 water bodies across India. In the most remote places of India, we have been working with the solar lights, helping people get the, light in the night so children could study even after sunset and not to think about the candle lights in which they used to continue their studies. And teaching them about hygiene and natural farming. Natural farming, I mean, farming without chemical pesticides and chemical fertilizers. We have trained about 3 million farmers in this work in the last few years. This is just a drop in the ocean. We need to do a lot. We have taken this wisdom to some parts of Africa, but there is so much more to do in Africa, in South America, almost everywhere, even in Europe. When I say natural farming, it is a little more than what we call the organic farming. Here, we see that we try to cultivate the natural earthworms and detoxify the land by natural means, by creating, solutions, enzymes, putting that in the soil so that the soil regains its nitrogen very quickly. Otherwise, just leave it to itself to recuperate. It takes 4 or 5 years, but if you can do it through herbal and this known ancient methods, within a couple of weeks or even a month or so, our soil's nutrients can be refixed. And this we have shown as a practical evidence that it's possible. So conserving water, again, we are using our detergent and soaps and with so much chemical, especially in the third world countries. All the banned chemicals in the West are being imported, are exported to third world countries, and there people use that and the water become highly contaminated. So we need to bring that lifestyle change in people, and a small effort is being made in this direction. And I think we can make it much bigger with more like-minded organization like yours. If we all join together, we can multiply this and do much more, which is so critical at this point of time. We all have to work together. With these few words, I thank you once again, and all of you, and Vin. He has been really a gem of a person, so caring, so sensitive, and about his passion to do something big for the world is something that people should learn from. Thank you.
Thank you, Gurudev, for your wise words and guidance for us. And of course, I'm biased. I will agree with you about Vin. He's always a caring person. Thank you. I'd like to invite Mr. Ovais Sarmad, who is the former Deputy Executive Secretary for UNFCCC. He's an accomplished diplomat, and we're thrilled that he's participating with us. Ovais, thank you for being with us, and please join us. Thank you.
Thank you, and a warm welcome to everyone, especially to Sri Gurudev for being here, for giving us this opportunity. It's a great honor, it's a great privilege and opportunity to share this platform with him. I'll start by acknowledging a very young participant in our audience, a little girl there. And that is very inspirational in the sense that whatever we are talking about in this whole COP, it's about that generation. It's about her. It's about how they will grow up in the kind of environment and the natural resources that we have taken for granted. We have actually, we have not inherited that resource. We have borrowed it from that little girl. And we have a huge moral, ethical responsibility to protect it and hand over in a safe and responsible manner to that, not to the next generation. Already that generation is here. And being in the process and knowing what is happening in the climate change, I can say in very few words is that we are in a very deeply troubled state of our environment and health of the planet. And as Gurudev said, we have taken it for granted and we are spoiling everything around us by simply, and now that I'm outside the United Nations, I can speak more freely, it is to do with our greed. We can never satisfy our greed. And that's what is causing the problems that we are facing. And you all have heard about the 1.5 degree limit. We are almost very close to reaching that tipping point. If we cross that, we will be making irreparable damages to the planetary boundaries, to the cryosphere, the Arctic, the Antarctic, the sea level rise, the forest, the biodiversity. They are all at the tipping point. So now is the time to take very serious, drastic, and urgent action. And this is what this whole COP is all about. And as we sit here, there are negotiators, the politicians who are discussing this, and I'm really, once again, very, very grateful that Sri Gurudev is here, and his voice matters. And because it's no longer about the negotiations, the politics, it's really about our existence and our responsibility as the custodians of the natural resources that we have inherited. So it's a great, again, a pleasure and an honor to be here and share this platform with Sri Gurudev. And thank you very much, sir, for being here. And I hope this will be an opportunity for your voice to be carried way beyond this room. And I'm sure it will. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ovais. I also want to thank you for your leadership at UN Climate Change for a number of years, and it's been very much appreciated. You're missed. So we are honored to have you back here in this capacity. Thank you. So, Guruji, we are here to follow your guidance about creating harmony in the world. As you rightly pointed out, that we need to be mindful about ourselves. We need to be mindful about nature. We have a responsibility towards nature. And you have time and time again reminded people that we need to rejuvenate this environment and the earth. And your kind of pioneering work in planting trees, millions and millions of trees, is a source of inspiration for so many of us, actually. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I want to invite your friend, sir, Menon, to share how he sees this exciting initiative on biodiversity through AQUAE to create sustainable finance and create consciousness in this world. Vin, warm welcome to you.
Thank you. Sri Gurudevji, thank you so much. I've been following you for many years now, and I've been a crazy fan of Art of Living, let me say that. And it's my honor and our team's honor for you to be here and give us blessings for this new initiative, which is AQUA. So what we are trying to do is, if you preserve natural resources, there is a value which we can capture from that, from a business point of view. And the more you preserve, the more value it is going to be, and that can convert into a financial instrument. So that's a kind of technology, using blockchain as a frontier technology. That is the summary of AQUA. So we have been in discussion with some foundations from Amazons, some coral islands from Caribbean, and some of the nations who wants to capture the natural resources like forest, corals, mangroves, and so on, and convert that into a financial instrument for funding their own growth. So again, going back to the physics formula E equal to mc square, basically the energy is still there. The financial resources are already available. We just need a tool to convert that into finance or the instrument. And that is what we are trying to do using technology. And first of all, thank you, Mr. Amir Dossal, for giving this idea. And I'm just following your path. You are not biased. I'm just following your path to reach where I want to be. And thank you so much for Mr. Ovais and Mr. Monga for arranging this. Thanks.
Guruji, with your blessings, we launched this exciting new initiative, and we will make sure we report to you on progress and follow your guidance as we go along. Good. Guruji, I want to invite, if I may, who made today's event happen. And I'm going to, perhaps Gaurav, would you like to say a few words? We would love, you have been really the driving force for this pavilion. And Guruji, I just want to mention to you, as they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the trees. His elegant father, who's a senior UN diplomat, Pradeep Ji Monga, is here, and we're honored to have him here. He's a diplomat, product of the Indian Civil Service, also a product of the United Nations. Thank you for being here, sir. Gaurav, welcome.
Thank you so much, Amir. And it's, I would say, a deep honor to be with such an esteemed panel. Thank you, Vin. Good to see you, Ovais. But also to be in the presence of Shri Gurudev Ji here. I have to say, listening to your wisdom, it just struck me that why are we all here? And we are all here because we are trying our best to stop global warming, stopping it from going above 1.5 degrees. What does that really mean? Actually, that means that we are actually at an inflection point. And this COP is by far the biggest COP. And there's a reason for that, is that we have to take action now. We are moving from negotiations to implementation, which means we have to start acting rather than just talking. We're going from a point where if we don't do anything, as per the national climate plans of almost 197 countries that are parties to the UNFCCC, we actually might see a rise in emissions by 9% by 2030. If we were to meet the objectives of the Paris Agreement, which is to limit global warming by 1.5, we actually have to reduce emissions by 45% by 2030 and reach net zero by 2050. Which means we just all have to pull our sleeves and start working on implementation, on action, and really drive that forward. What makes this also very special for me, this event, Shri Gurudev Ji, is that this is actually the first time I'm sharing an event space with my father. It's quite personal for me as well that he's here. And thank you so much. And why is it so personal for me is that my father has motivated me throughout my life to fight for nature, to fight for climate. And I believe this same applies for faith leaders like yourself. I believe we need your motivation, we need your guidance, we need your wisdom to really motivate not just us here at COP, but communities, nations, because really if to get action, to have more grassroots work, we need leaders like yourself, and it's amazing that faith leaders like yourself who are leading the world are here. It sends a very strong signal, and we are delighted and honored to have you with us at COP in the UNFCCC Pavilion, and we hope that you come back again and again because your mission and your voice is absolutely crucial. Thank you so much.
Thank you.